So I'll hear people say, if you believe it, then you can achieve it. No matter what, even if you're not going to win, you got to fight. Go get some!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Raf in the building, Capitán Rafucho, and welcome to this episode because we're about to start this year. We're about to start this year with a banger because this is the 2025 season of the Combat Club because right now it is a podcast with the mixed martial arts, boxing, and wrestling fans that are united on this podcast because we got debates, news, also interviews, stat, story, because it's a show with 100% extreme attitude because in this club, we're born to fight anywhere, anytime, anyone. And right now, we have a special guest because this is right now is truly excited because right now we had two topics coming up there because this weekend is going to be really huge because right now it is officially back in business. The UFC 311, we just got two amazing fights. So right now, let's give it a warm welcome to one of the greatest guests because right now it is the humble season because everything happens on the Combat Club. So right now, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the legendary, the MMA food. How's it going?
Capitan, thank you, man. Thank you for having me on. Hey, that is the best intro I've ever. Even when I used to fight, I didn't get introduced like that, man. Thank you for making me feel at home, and thank you for reaching out and getting me on. I know we had a little struggles, we had the fires, and I'm still a little under the weather. I'm coming around, but I'm so excited. So excited for these cards. It's down the street, it's Los Angeles, so I'm excited to go meet some fighters this weekend. Who knows, I feel a little better now, so maybe we can make it out tomorrow night to Inglewood and see the festivities and Saturday morning. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm kind of sad about Bellator, but yeah, I'm excited for 311.
Yeah, I know, because right now we have the first topic, which is the UFC 311 preview, which is for the first time is going to be in Los Angeles, California, and the Intune Dome, which is the home of Los Angeles Clippers. Now, they have something like really interesting about those fights because they have Umar Nurmagomedov versus Merab Mishalibi, which is for the bantamweight title. Also, they had Islam Bekabech versus Arman Tesrukan. Also, they got Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Now, first and foremost, they got Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Now, the battle between Alex Pereira's opponents is going to be right there because I know that Jiri Prochazka is a wall striker with unorthodox techniques and a relentless pace because I know that he's a former champion, has a very unique style, which he used to have to assort strikes and to walk it down for the opponents. Such a big style that real definitely. But also Jamal Hill has an excellent boxing and knockout power because I know because this seems like a lot of things after the UFC 300 between Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira because he was coming back through throwing kills at the best in injury that ruins the careers of the athletes because I'm going to tell you for this one. When Alex Pereira came here to destroy Jamal Hill, now it seems like it's very dangerous for everything. Now, the way that I just see it about for this fight, I mean, there's no way because they're going to be expecting walking down the Hill throw to the fight with tremendous pressure. I mean, that would be the foot speed to evade Jiri's powerful strikes. It will definitely quick spell for the former champ. I mean, and I'm going to pick Jiri for knockout because they're going to expect it to be like a shadow of this former himself after being dealt with all the severe injuries. So what do you think about like the fight between the light heavyweight, Jiri Prochazka, which is like the warrior, the samurai versus Jamal Hill? I mean, this is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, and like with this weight class, it's hard to bet, It's a little hard to bet if you're into betting, but I'm not that much into betting, honestly. Jerry Style has always confused people. A lot of fans don't like it. They're like, "Oh, he's not a real fighter. He's just like messing around." I don't see that. To fight in the biggest stage in the world, I think you have to be a mixed martial artist. It doesn't matter what your style is, but like you're a killer. No matter who they put you in there, you're gonna get killed. Unless it's Poatan, you know. But I think honestly, I'm a Yuri fan. I love his style. I love his hair. Everything he does about him is his aura, bro. You know, like everything about him, just like it speaks martial arts. You love seeing that. Like you need life in the sport. It can't just everything be black and white, black and white. You need to get some color in it, you know. But I honestly like. I feel like Jamal might. He's still a good fighter too, you know. Like I feel like if he gets the right punch. Uh, with Yuri style, it can be a little controversial. I think he might get the upset. I think Jamal Hill might get his turn the ship around because he was on the way down on even on X. You see him arguing with his fans, and I feel like if he locks it in, he can do it. It's sport. It's a sport. Anything can happen, and I feel like he can get the upset. Obviously, I'm going for Yuri, but I feel like Jamal might pull it off.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we got some comments right there that say, Sean Moody, Capitan, how are you? I'm very good. Also, they have like a comment to say, taking Kill Mirad and Islam on, yeah, the comedy Costner Holland. But I'm going to tell you for this one. I mean, those are really stacked fights that we want to see at the UFC because after all this, well, this amount of, well, the break that of UFC after the fight of UFC on Vegas, right now it is the perfect time to see. Finally, we got here. So I know there's one fight that we're probably going to talk about between prospects because talking about bantamweight, we got to talk about Peyton Talbot. Now, Peyton Talbot is going to be a rising prospect. Excellent striking, skills, a lot of aggression. Because some of those people that were very impressed with the Talbot of this fight so far, because it seems that they have like a natural ability, because no one had to do about it. Because it seems that he has a natural ability to, as a striker, as a fighter, to move the flow and deliver the strikes. I mean, that fight, that style, it reminds me like of the youngest Conor McGregor and Sean O'Malley, and that way that is able to dance around his opponents and fight his target. Because I know he's being out of the prime, but Ronnie Barcelos is a veteran with well-round skills. Because I know it's going to be like a special fight between teacher versus student, but I know that Barcelos has lost 4 out of the 6 fights. And even this last fight against Cristian Quiñones, which is won, I mean, they had the submission for the 3rd round. But Tabor is going to be like the real deal with eventually lost to not Adrian Berman, but a legitimate former that fighter him up. But I will say this because if I'm going to pick Peyton Talbot for a knockout, I mean, this is going to be really excited. But I think that after seeing for all of those fights, Peyton Talbot could be like the real deal for the bantamweight title, for the bantamweight division. I mean, that could happen enough.
Yeah, he's the truth. He's one of my favorite fighters right now. So like, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for his matchup. So he's the best. He's the best fighter to me right now. Like just up and coming prospect. And like you said, Sean O'Malley and Conor McGregor. He has that thing, you know, where you don't teach it. So yeah, I'm going Peyton Talbot. I'm on the train.
Mm-hmm. Also, well, we got for like another one, which is speaking about bantamweight, because they have Marav versus Omar Nagurundu. I know that is one of those very unique fighters that are one aspect of the fighter, because this is gonna be like something like multiple takedowns, control of his opponent, and we understand that both fighters having the same pace and relentless pressure to get in like the takedowns that have affected the winning fights. I mean, if it's something had to do about it, Umar Garadun is exactly that kind of the fighter because he has having like the same wrestling ability to maintain control that will be tested. I mean, scrambling, striking skills. I mean, they show up and they can't be heard and I'm shown at his feet. But also, I believe that Umar has the skills, had the skills to neutralize Morales' strengths that he has to play one-dimensional style of fighting. I mean, I can see that a fight actually like out grappling to being able to take a takedown with the more significant strikes. But also, I would love to say this. Umar not gonna do. I know that I understand it because they're being partners with Khabib. Because I know the family of Nurmagomedov could be like really dangerous, but they have a mentality of leadership that no one can fucking around. No one. Oh, I guess you muted.
No, yeah, no, I'm hearing you. I didn't want to cut you off.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. It's the thing. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a 5-rounder. It's in their cardio, and I feel like yeah, they're tough. They're warriors, bro. That family. Khabib's gonna be there, and yeah, what can you expect from the Nurmagomedovs than nothing but pressure, you know, and grappling. But I feel like their counterpart Merab is gonna be a little different, man.
I mean, exactly. And
Because he's
besides
built
to
different.
that, mm-hmm, yep, I
He's
know it's
built
gonna be like,
different, and his cardio and where he comes from, and I think Merab pulls it out. I think people still don't believe in Merab, and Merab's a champ for a reason, man. That's all I gotta say.
mm-hmm, there you go. All right, so we're gonna have to do about like the lightweight because I know the speaking about Khabib, Umar. Right now we had the lightweight, the main card, the main event, which is like the second part coming, which is Islam Makhachev versus Arman Takji. Now, there's no doubt about like Islam Makhachev, the reigning lightweight champion, because he hasn't been a great champion since like for 2 years. I mean, having one loss an entire career, multiple title defense, and the fortitude to pull off the win of the fights had to the face, adversity against Dustin Poirier, and the first Alexander Volkanovski. Because I remember just like a few months ago, which is like October 2023. We were just remember about like Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. That was like a very insane, just like a classic masterpiece. But we understand that Islam Makhachev is very unique, not only about the dominant grappling, also he has huge control, technical striking, has a very probably to be number one for the pound rankings. And you might be careful because who doesn't know that even if Islam Makhachev could beat out like John Jones, Alex Pereira, I mean, he still got it out his best. But while Makhachev has only once lost in his career, he looks very vulnerable at certain fights. Unlike Khabib, who always believe he lost 1 or 2 rounds of his career, but he's a great grappler. I mean, there's no doubt to see like from the Poirier fight. I mean, it considered him for all the defeat. He refused to listen to his coach when his gets engaged. But Armand, it's just like an elite fighter. And he proved to have to go to toe for toe for Makhachev. I know he's an elite wrestler. His first fight, he actually competed against Islam pressure wrestling, being average reversal of position and taking it down for himself. I mean, there's no doubt that he falls short in the first fight, but it's gonna be really close enough because I begin a little closer because I really suggested that we love it competitive by fight close decision because I think that fulfills like the criteria, but I don't think the strike league could have really hurt Makhachev on the feet where he's getting outstruck by Charles Oliveira. I mean, they're giving like the edge during this fight for the first fight, but I would say this. They might get close right now, but I can see very close. But I would love to see Islam Makhachev to win for a decision. But some people say this, Kate, Armando's camp is going to be like an upset, so we don't know because they're all favorite bets on Islam Makhachev, but also they have the upsets of Arman Takstrian. So maybe no is going to be like an upset or favoritism about for like the main event.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're champs for a reason. The thing is that Islam did fight Volkanovski, and Volkanovski's a 145 champ. So like I still like to me, I don't really like put that up on his resume too high. Obviously, like no disrespect to Alexander Volkanovski, he's a great champ. He was a great 145 champ, and the first fight was really close with Islam. Was really close. So with that being said, I feel like Arman can take him to the deep waters that Volkanovski took him to, the 145er, you know. And if it goes to decision, I think Islam wins. But I think Arman Sarukian might be the new champ.
Yes. I mean,
He
they
works
got it
hard, and
right. Mhm.
he's it's good. It's a good fight, you know. Like we want fights like this. We don't want like mismatches. Like this is a perfect fight, you know. Like it's up in the air. You flip a coin, wherever it lands, that's who's gonna win. And some
Yep.
people think Islam is unbeatable. He can go up to 170. So we'll see if he beats Arman, then maybe I'll believe the 170 hype. But he has to believe Arman, and he has to do it decisively. He can't just go in there and like, you know, just grapple his way to a decision. Like I want champs to if they want to move up, I want them to prove themselves. You know, like Ilya Taporia, he's still proving himself, but he's making a statement. You know, Ilya's out there, he's putting everybody to sleep, and that's fun to see. And I would love to see him in another division because he's putting in the work. And maybe one or two more fights, he does it again. Guess what? Let him fight for the 155 belt.
Yep. I mean, you got it right. You got it right. And I mean that after see that between the UFC 311, I mean, there's gonna be like a series of bangers because we just got the first event of the year in Los Angeles, and they just got like so much really interesting that we just wanted to give everything could happen. And of course, I just wanted to see like at the comments right now. So salute to Sneaker Hunter 55, stopping the show by, just showing love to my boy Ralph. Salute to you. Also, Shamlita to say, I only see a total of 7 successful takedowns between Mirav and Umar. So I guarantee I appreciate about that. I appreciate about that. And of course, we got the second topic coming up there. So after we just talking about the UFC 311, so I really understand that, well, if you guys see all those Bellator fights right now, it seems that it is officially like taking it down. So right now it's completely not exist. So after a whole years, we've been seeing like the death of Bellator MMA, but they just gave like a lot of legacy and of course great moments because we just see like a few fighters that really came through. Because if you remember, Marlon Sandro, Dave Jensen, also Rich Clemente, these are like greatest fighters that really came at the Bellator, and then in 2023 they just absorbed by Professional Fighters League, and that was just like a very sad because I really understand that it's gonna be like a slow process of death of Bellator because even though that I was younger because I was in college, I was saw all those fights in Bellator because that's like a strong competition along with UFC because UFC and Bellator they became like a strong competitors, strong like franchise who changed the entire world of the mixed martial arts. And then they just seem like at the kickboxing, also for the fighting championship. I mean, they just got everything. And who can never forget Eddie Alvarez? Eddie Alvarez became here. I mean, that's really crazy. So, how you feel about like the closure of Bellator, and what are those moments that you belong that if you see like the whole entire Bellator, and what the moments that to see like to change the whole culture of Bellator mixed martial arts?
Well, Bellator used to reach out to to like a lot of people in the area. Like they gave a lot of opportunity. So
Mhm.
you gotta love that, you know, like a lot of the fighters that came from like from around the area, like they gave up and comers everything. Give me a second, bro.
Mm, yeah, because I understand that, well, it's not only about Eddie Alvarez, but also there is Michael Chandler, for
Yeah,
example. I
that
mean,
was one of the greatest fights ever. Michael Chandler, Eddie Alvarez. Then we had Michael Venom Page coming out of there. Now he's in the UFC. Like we wanted to see a lot of these fighters in the UFC. Like so, like it's kind of sad. Like a couple of them that like Patchy Mix, he's still there, and like who knows what's gonna happen with him. We saw Patricio Pitbull, like all the argument there was. It's like PFL was a cancer. You know, we didn't know. Like it was a little cancer just growing inside of Bellator, like waiting to kill it. And now Bellator's dead. And it's sad, man. So many memories, like you say, you know, like I used to go to so many events when they used to come here because, like I said, they reached out to the community. It wasn't just like they were trying to sell to everybody. Like they were like to every gym, local gym. You know, they wanted everybody to participate, and we had a couple guys. I probably could have fought for Bellator, you know, if I locked it in, but I was only doing Muay Thai at the time, so. But I had a couple teammates that were at Bellator, that fought for Bellator, that actually were in the same locker room as Fedor, you know. So Bellator gave them that opportunity to, like, wow, like, who would have thought you're going to be in the same locker room as Fedor, Emelianenko, Hoist Gracie, you know, the greats, the Mount Rushmores, the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, because I remember that I was studying in college. I've been seeing like watching not only UFC fights but also Bellator. I mean, that's really interesting to watch it about it. Also, we see like a lot of comments right there. So there you go. Salute to you, Robert Pena. Salute to you. Also, Crossover MMA say, "What's up, Capitan? First time catching a stream. Let's go, let's go." Also, Shamura to say, Will Brooks versus Chandler both times. Also, there's AJ McKee. Yep, I understand about it. And Sean wanted to say Belter was the shit with Coker. I mean, that was like really insane because during for the decade of 2010, I mean, Belter MMA not only they have great fighters, but also they have great matches who became like a game changer for the event. I mean, there's not like a lot of competition, not only with Bellator, but also the likes UFC, the Burn Knocking Fighting competition, but also they just have like Strike Force. Yeah, I saw that about the comments. Strike Force, Elite FC. It does say,
Dude, Scott Coker, I've never heard a bad thing about Scott Coker. Like, I've interviewed fighters, and all I've heard is positive things. And I've seen interviews about Scott Coker, and I've seen what Scott Coker is one of the most honest and beautiful souls in the sport. And there's not too many. Obviously, this is the business, you know? People don't realize that, the business side of it. And I think Scott Coker, he's one of the nicest people in this fucking sport, man. Excuse my French.
Yeah. Also, somebody to say, what about Jeff Monson? Oh my goodness! I mean, when you're talking about Jeff Monson, I mean, he was just like a beast. I mean, during for the popularity, I mean, he was just like he had a long career, not only UFC but also on everything. I mean, he just became like an awesome beast, and I know he just won like a heavyweight champion, but I just really understand that he became part of not only for the UFC, but also really became like really independent. But I gotta tell you for this one, and sorry about that. I know that it seems that after that, we just saw like the move and we're coming out for the Bellator. I mean, if they had something about it, because all for those people who grow up and of course was watching all those fights in Bellator, I mean, it's been like a lot of fighters haven't seen everything. But here's one thing. Here's one thing. I mean, Bellator was strikingly fucked when Kevin K got fired from Viacom. I mean, that was like one of those reasons. One of those reasons that even brought it the first place. I mean, he helped build it off like the competition in UFC, so he got like stopped at the poach, and he don't want the same mistake of the pushing by Viacom, and also to rebrand it. I mean, they're either moving forwards. I mean, it's kind of like a really ridiculous how the PF waits so much time to convince all the fans that the season was a good idea and keep it like the Bellator brand separate for like because they should have moves day one after the quieting. I mean, that could happen. Also, there's another comment to say, have you ever been to a Melendez and Coker show yet? That's very interesting.
No, they just started up. They're in Northern California. They had their show was December 14th, I think. They had a show right here in San Jose. I don't remember. It was a night of the UFC card. So, but it was it was kickboxing, or it was Muay Thai and MMA, and it looked really fun because I had a couple ex UFC fighters and a couple famous Muay Thai fighters. So, yeah, they're always busy, you know. I love Scott Coker and Menendez.
Yeah, I mean, sort of right. All right, so we got a last topic right now. So I just wanted to tell you about this one. So I really understand that between for like 2024 and 2025 season, I mean, we just got like a lot of fighters coming up there, but we just see like everything could happen on those fighters between like no one had to see it really coming because I know that there's like a drop in rumors. It's gonna be like a news, everything. But I know that there's some news coming out there because Dana White he trips like a new update of Conor McGregor's UFC return, and also there's like a lot of rumors of Logan Paul and everything because there's like a lot of rumors between a fight between Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul. Now check this out about this, folks. Now check this out. I know that Conor McGregor he became sort of part of like the hype of 2010 because if you remember the fight between Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo, I mean, it became something like classic masterpiece. But then, I mean, he became something like a great fighter, but also he's just like a trash talker because even I just saw like between like the Mount Rushmore of trash talking of UFC because they have Michael Bisping, also they got like Chanel Soin, also they got Conor McGregor. But it seems that after all these years, after all of the allegations, I don't think that the people is gonna be ready between Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul. I mean, McGregor was originally booked to return against Michael Chandler. You remember that at the UFC 303, but he just suffered a broken toe that it couldn't pull it off. But it's been like 6 months later. I mean, he's been a rumor to find it like one of those influencer bot scenes, which is Logan Paul, because I don't know, it's gonna be like a really excited, gonna be like the fight of the year, but he's gonna be potentially at the fall, which is at the fall season. But I know there's gonna be like polarized opinion, but he also that faces the controversy. But I don't know. It seems that that fight between Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul, I mean, is gonna be like really suspected, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I don't think that. I think Dana said that fight's not gonna happen. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking, what I think, honestly, like I don't think Connor should return, but I guess he's still selling tickets. You know, people are still gonna pay for it. So, like I said, the business side of it, I will never understand. I don't want no part of it. I just want to see people go to sleep and put on some great techniques. But I think we're gonna get Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 3 in the fall. That's what I think.
yeah,
That's the only fight that the UFC can make that because nobody wanted to see him fight Michael Chandler. You know, like Nate Diaz is out making money on his own. I went to watch him box Masvidal, and he had that whole place sold out. Anaheim, it's not the Pond, the Honda Center sold out, bro. I was like literally sold out to go watch Nate Diaz box Masvidal. I knew it wasn't even like an entertaining fight. It was more like a sparring session to me. Like if honestly, I don't know if anybody watched it, but yeah, it was there were some good fights, honestly. Like one of my friends fought on the card, my homie Alan Sanchez. Shout out to Alan. But yeah,
sure.
he trains with the Diaz brothers. He's their boxing one of their trainers. So yeah. But yeah, that was I feel like Nate Diaz and Connor is a fight to make if he returns. Obviously, I don't see that though.
Yeah, I mean, if it's all about like the business coming out there, but I don't think that Conor McGregor has a one last shot. I mean, against what are those influencer fighters? I mean, against Logan Paul, but it seems that we have been suffering enough at all this also like trashing of influencer fighters to say, oh, Shamudi, they had a great comment to say Diaz and Jorge boxing was trash. And I know that Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal, it became some like a part of the prime example because they've been known for like trash talking about like the UFC, the MMA, and also the people who just really blow out about like the fight of Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal in UFC. But in boxing, I mean, that wasn't a very surprising at all. But I think that it's kind of like part of the business because if they want to try to do something with the influencer boxing, I mean, if I don't think it's gonna be really fit enough because I know that on those prime things because we've been growing up and we're just watching like the holy prime of the UFC because we've been seeing like fighters getting like everything about this car because we see like Alice Pereira, we've been seeing John Jones, but it's like the last era. We've been seeing like a lot of things that can really move out. But I don't think that the people just want to see like another thing like Conor McGregor's last dance. I mean, who can never forget about this? I mean, if also the between for like the allegations and all the controversy, I don't think that Conor McGregor is gonna be like so much ready for the last fight until it's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna retire, but it's not gonna be like really easy at all.
Yeah, no, his career. He retired a long time ago, especially with all the stuff in the media. Like, if it's true, man, he's a piece of trash, but we don't know. So we just stay back and watch. But yeah, the stuff coming up, you hate to see that, especially him being that rich and famous, which, so I think that train left the station. I don't see why he should come back. There's no reason for him to come back. Like, we don't need him. The sport doesn't need him. The only thing that he does is just bring back news to the sport now. Like, unfortunately, and it sucks for Michael there, man. The guy waiting almost 2 years now, bro. Like, and it's not the biggest. And yeah, I mean, it's all about money, unfortunately. That's what's running this business. That's why the tickets are expensive as hell now. Like, you're talking about $400 for nosebleeds for UFC 311. You're talking about almost $100 for pay-per-view. So I mean, yeah, it's a money business, and I see why they would want to bring McGregor, but I'm done with the McGregor train. And I used to be a big McGregor fan. Don't get me wrong. He changed the sport.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done it like him, but yeah, it's that train left my station, at least.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, and after that, I just wanted to deliver everything. I mean, it's all about it for the business. And I understand that some people, they don't want it to take like very seriously at all. But you know what? I mean, it happens a lot. It happens a lot of combat sports and everything. So I just wanted to tell you, thanks for joining us in this episode, because this is the first episode of this year on the Combat Club, along with a special guest, the MMA Foo. I know there's gonna be like a really curious at all, because we both wearing the hat of Los Angeles Dodgers, and I know that you're wearing Los Angeles Rams, because I know that I'm a Raider fan, to be honest, because I know the Los Angeles Rams became part of like the playoffs. And I really understand that this weekend is going to be really huge, not only for the city of Los Angeles, but also for the state of California, because they have the UFC 311 in Los Angeles, California, also the classical one of basketball. If you guys watch the entire basketball NBA, because they had the classic of the classic, because they got Los Angeles Lakers versus Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, there's going to be like between a battle of LeBron James versus James Harden. So I just wanted to tell you, thanks to the MMA Food to joining us for this episode. So where can we find you around for the social media, then people can see you about for like the content, and of course, keep it in touch about like all those MMA news, and of course, those raw opinions.
Well, I mean, if you can catch me on Instagram and Facebook as the MMA Foo, but I'm actually with Combat Sports Today, CST Today News, CST. Shout out to my boy Phil and all my boys at CST. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We haven't started OnlyFans yet, but I'm playing. It's not in the works. But yeah, Combat Sports Today News. We Muay Thai, wrestling, WWE, MMA, One Championship, Octagon, MMA, and wherever. And if you're a fighter, we're gonna find you. And we're gonna cover you, because we love this damn sport. Any combat sport, you know how it is. You know how it is, Capitan.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you all, because it's been like a really amazing, because this is the first episode of this year, because this is the Combat Club. With Mission Martial Arts, boxing, and wrestling fans are united for the podcast with 100% extreme attitude, because in this club, we're going to fight anywhere, anytime, anyone. So
Oh yeah. Thanks for having me, bro. Good.
Yep. Thanks for having. Yes. And of course, I just wanted to say thank you. And of course, there was one last thing. Pray for the whole state of California who are affected of those wildfires. Of course, much blessing and love for the people of California. Stay strong, California. All right, because I know that I live in North Carolina. So stay strong. Stay strong for the state of California, because you're not alone. Because right now, we are united than ever. United we stand, divided we fall. So salute to y'all. And of course, we will see you there at the next episode of the Combat Club. So let's go. And of course, saludos.
Bye.